Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Kenny Florian to defeat Sean Shirk. And I'm here to talk about Paul Craig versus Andre Muniz. Paul Craig is 35 years old, 16-6-1, and he's got 2 inches of height and giving up 2 inches of reach to 33-year-old Andre Muniz, who is 23-5. This is a battle between two guys that are kind of similar in their strengths, even though not really, but they're both submission artists by and large. And on paper, at least, they have similar weaknesses. I should mention at the very top of this video, I should have mentioned, I guess, but I'll mention it here 40 seconds in. Paul Craig is dropping down in weight for this fight. He's moving down to middleweight. And that might work out really well for him, but it might not. And this might work out to be a very favorable matchup for him, but it might not. Paul Craig, he's been knocked out 4 times in his 6 losses, submitted once and decisioned once, all 6 in the UFC. He was knocked out by Johnny Walker, Alonzo Menafiel, Khalil Roundtree, and Tyson Pedro, tapped out by Jimmy Crute, who really shouldn't fucking retire, and decisioned by Volkan Oezdemir somehow. His wins, though, are incredible. Not all of them, but at least 2 of them. He tapped out Magomed Ankalaev with 1 second left, which the way that went down, it's just, straight out of a movie. And he was losing every other second of that fight. And he also broke Jamal Hill's arm, which was a good victory at the time, but now it's gotten a lot better with age, needless to say. And he's also beaten Kennedy Nzechukwu, another 3rd-round comeback. Nikita Krylov caught him slipping. Nikita Krylov was in a position to win that fight, but he got caught slipping and got triangled. He's taken out Shogun once and a half, although that was the ghost of Shogun when he beat him and when he had the draw with him. But Paul Craig, he's incredible off his back. That's what separates him from Andre Muniz, although Andre Muniz, I'm sure, isn't dog shit off his back, but Paul Craig would be better off his back than he would on top of you. On top, I'm sure he could ride out a round and control you, but he's never been Mr. Rear Naked Choke, although I'm sure he's got a nice one. He's been the armbar triangle guy from the guard, and that makes him very unique and very beatable in a lot of ways, but it also, again, it's unique, presents a lot of unique challenges where you can't get caught slipping like Nikita Krylov did. Andre Muniz, he's got 23-5 record, 5 losses, 4 of them by knockout or TKO, 1 by submission. The submission I've seen, that was to Brendan Allen, of course. Brendan Allen, who is just on fire as of late, and that's probably his best victory. He looked awesome in that fight, really took over and got the win down the stretch. The 4 losses via knockout, I've seen 1.5 of them. The last one came 7 or 8 years ago to Azamat Murzakanov, who knocked him out in like 10 seconds. And it is what it is. That guy hits pretty fucking hard. And then he lost twice to this guy, Julio Cesar dos Santos. Once was a 2nd-round TKO. I haven't seen that, but I've seen highlights of the doctor stoppage. And he was certainly losing the fight, but he wasn't legitimately finished. He had some injury or something. So while I can't commit to saying, oh, he's got a weak chin or whatever, I feel like it's no coincidence that he's lost 4 of his 5 losses by knockout. So there's got to be something there. But here, I think Andre Muniz, I mentioned this being a potentially favorable matchup for Paul Craig, I don't think it is. I think it's a very unfavorable matchup. I think Andre Muniz is better than him on the ground, maybe not the better submission artist, although he is the guy that tapped out Jacare. He's maybe, like, Paul Craig is a very dangerous submission artist. But Andre Muniz, I think, is overall a better grappler. He's as dangerous of a submission artist as really anybody, aside from maybe Paul Craig. And I also think he wins the overall physicality battle, the athleticism battle. I think he's going to be better, and the striking battle, which is really what I'm getting to. I think Paul Craig has a particular weakness, and even though Andre Muniz is not the type of guy to go for the knockout, he can throw down. I think if he has that fight he had against Uriah Hall, but it's Paul Craig in there, he's going to get him out of there. So Andre Muniz is my pick to win this fight. I think it could come via knockout just as easily as it could come via submission. maybe even more easily, to be honest. And a decision, of course, if it went to points, Paul Craig would need a lot of big moments to win a decision. Paul Craig is pretty much submission from the guard or bust, in my opinion. Or if Andre Muniz somehow falls apart, then Paul Craig, he's a scrapper. Maybe he'll be the last man standing in round 3. But generally, I think Andre Muniz should win this fight. I have bet on him at minus 225. I think there's value there. And I'm really waiting for the prop bets because I do think he finishes Paul Craig. I don't think this is going to be some positional battle. I think Andre Muniz is a very dangerous guy. And if he's winning this fight, whether it's standing or on the ground, I think he's going to end up getting Paul Craig out of there. So that's the pick. I'll go with a round 1 TKO. But wouldn't surprise me if it was round 2 submission or anything else. So Andre Muniz, like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit, and check out my other videos.